So last time we were also talking about our mecha crew and our captain. This is where we were at last time.
Are we going to show the concept art of Billy's? Damn.
Yeah.
Like the
we're getting
legit
to it.
one?
Yeah,
Okay.
I promise you, we're getting to it.
And so the captain, boom. Well,
Boom.
The captain, by the way, guys, is kind of like our leader for the lore of the story about the Metakey. And there's going to be 3 characters. She's the first. Yeah. And they're the main crew members.
Well, there's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot more than 3. Like every single one of you guys are going to be a character. You're part of this meta crew. You guys are all going to be integrated into this narrative. It's just that we've got these 3 like mascot characters that are demonstrating the IP and the aesthetic, right, and the sort of like breadth and scope of it. Yeah. So here's our captain in action. Oh my goodness! So you can see we're teasing our other characters back here. We got the Stray. We've got. We haven't settled on this guy. He's either the gun or the.
He's too mysterious to settle on.
I know. Like we can't. He's so mysterious. We can't even settle on his name. And then you can see some. The rest of the crew. Our generative avatars. An
insight into our PFP project coming.
Yeah. And I wonder if
thinking.
I wonder if this might be teasing or implying something that's coming as well.
What is that? A pet?
No.
What is it? A pet?
Maybe.
Is it a random crow creature that she doesn't even know is on her shoulder?
I'm sure it doesn't really mean anything.
The reason why we're doing these mascots is we can pull and connect the story of everything we do.
Yes.
From the wearables that we drop to the buildings that we build in Decentraland. Yes. We could have gone ahead and just said, oh, we like this style and that style, but we said no, we pulled back, we rewinded the clock a little bit. We got Michael to come up with a story and a description, we got Billy to do some drawing and brainstorming, we got us internally to agree on an art form that we like forward, and now from the wearables that we drop in DCL, we may drop a mythic set, which is only 10 of maybe her suit, right, or her cape, or her arm, anything. So this builds character, obviously, to the stuff that we do in the future, and I think there'll be a lot more connectivity apart from us just having no storyline, and this is why we kind of built the storyline.
So we're building so many things across so many different spaces that we wanted them to be like cohesive, right? And we wanted everything that we do visually to be recognizably Metakey, that people will be able to see it and they'll be able to just instantly recognize it if they're in the NFT space. And I think we're kind of like definitely getting to that point. In a way that isn't sort of ubiquitous or homogenous with a lot of these other projects as well. Like we're not doing another punk or another ape. Or, like we got a little bit of that like cyberpunk thing in there, which is extremely kind of popular and getting I think a little bit homogenized. But also like it's very, very distinct and unique to the Metakey, which I love. So here's our captain again. This was our first sort of test at what an avatar project might look like. Again, we want to use her aesthetic as our IP to inform what these avatars are going to look like moving forward. And this was
very first step.
Yeah, this is the very, very, very first sketch that Billy smashed out for what that might look like. Basically, we said, we really like this. Let's see how it looks with some variations. Let's see what happens when you start to switch out some of these things. Yeah, that's kind of what we got. What we got here is, okay, what does it look like? She's got different eyes. She's got an eye patch. She's got, shorter hair. If she's got like different kinds of makeup. And again, each one of these is like, this is a separate layer. So each one of these is the same base image, basically, as this that's been cleaned up. And then the hair's on a separate layer. The eyes are on a separate layer. Any accessories are on a separate layer. It's about building those kind of layers up and having them in such a way that it works, like they all work together, all mesh together.
But you know what's interesting? So if you look at the left one, you'll see her eyes are gold. She's got a little bit of a gold aura. Yeah. I think her lips aren't. Her lips are normal. On the right one, she's got black eyeshadow, black lipstick. She's got a black aura. So we're thinking of the concept of having like a dark style rarity and a light one. Yeah. And play around with auras and all these sort of things. Yeah, we were also playing around with maybe these auras corresponding to Metakey editions, right? So that everyone, like including Gen 4, is going to get a free avatar, but
if you're, say, a Gen 1, maybe you'll get this cool gold aura. Like whatever you generate, it'll also have this cool gold aura. Maybe if you're a Keymaster, it'll have, this kind of black aura. We're sort of experimenting with
experiment with that. So I'm thinking maybe we shouldn't do it in a way where it's too much part of the art.
Yeah.
So like if you have Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3, maybe it's just like a little tattoo.
Very subtle. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very subtle thing.
Yeah.
That way it's there, but it doesn't dominate the thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Because then you have like 500 pieces which are completely the same and dominated by an aura.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, this was still very like early experiment, but and also experimenting with like the style, which we've been sort of massaging and adjusting as we go. But like like super compelling. Like she's such a cool design, honestly. Then Billy just started going and smashing out. I wanted to show this because it really, I think, like gives an insight into how these avatar projects work, how they're actually broken down. So you can kind of see here, right? Like you make this eye patch on a separate layer, and it needs to fit on every single head that you make.
Male or female.
Yeah, male or female. So you have to design these heads in a way that they can have, like over here, there can be like some different shapes and different colors, but like this line needs to be the same. This line needs to be the same because this needs to line up in every single one of them. Same with the hair, the beards, everything. So he smashed out some of them for male and female parts. Again, just as like an early sort of test, because this is one of the reasons why I really want to have a course on this in the Met Academy, because basically Vic and Billy are both having to work out how this works. Like as they go, they're having to basically design it from the ground up. There's very little information about actually how to do this kind of out there. Everyone's kind of hold those cards very close to their chest. And then we kind of tested randomly generating a bunch of these from some of these components, right? So again, this is just like this is just a couple of these components.
Can we realize that?
Yeah. So this is just a couple of these variations, and then just randomly generating them to see that algorithm works, right? To see that there's no clipping, to see that this eye patch fits on this head and this head and this head equally, right?
I actually thought they wouldn't look too different because I only saw like two of them, but they look pretty different.
They look pretty different, and this is still only with just a couple of these components designed, right? And the style hadn't been finished yet. The style was still like very kind of like quick and slapdash. He just wanted to demonstrate how the process was working, sort of experiment.
Look at the guy at the top left.
This guy?
What happened? What went wrong with him? He's like a half alien.
Ignore him. He doesn't fit into the narrative yet.
Okay.
This is where we're at right now. So one bit of feedback we gave was, okay, these guys, they all look kind of soulless, and dead-eyed and like very realistic. And in that sort of like concept art kind of painterly style. But I think our main feedback was we wanted them to be a little bit higher contrast, a little bit harder lines, and a little bit more animated and expressive, So, and also I think you were suggesting like maybe experiment with like a different view rather than like the typical kind of side-on PFP view, maybe having like a front-on.
Possible front-on.
Yeah. So we've experimented with that. He came back with these different sort of style testers for us. This was more like what it was before, but with a more animated, like a less realistic kind of hairstyle. And I think that we're sold on like this one and this one, right? And that's basically what we're looking at moving forward. And also moving a little bit away from all these cyberpunk components, because that is like very homogenized at the moment. And something that's like a little bit sort of between that and the piratey. What's this? What could that be? What could that be, Maddie? I don't know. What does that say? Asan?
Yeah.
Who's Asan?
I don't know.
Huh. And then this was another sort of style test.
That is cool, man.
Today. Yeah.
I'm a fan of that style.
So that's one pedal back towards the painterly style, like from this one. But
I would love
larger eyes, like larger sort of features to be more expressive.
Hell yeah!
And I just love this hairstyle.
I love the hairstyle too.
Yeah.
I would love, by the way, guys, for you to give your advice and your opinions on what you think. There's only 5 of us, and we all have a little bit of a different taste. Yeah. I personally have the taste of a mix of animated and realism. Not too realism, to be honest. I kind of like fantasy stuff, but not too anime. Just kind of I don't know. There's a sweet spot.
We've been looking at like Overwatch and Valorant and League of Legends, like a lot of their rendering styles.
That is so fucking cool.
Yeah, it is really cool, isn't it? Because eventually these are all going to be 3D as well. These are all going to be like 3D avatars that you can like play as in different spaces. This is just step one. So we want a style that can kind of like translate to that as well. But I love this hairstyle. I love like the big sort of, it's almost like Disney features in a way, you know, like Pixar features. But
you know what? Comparing this to the Captain that we had very, very early on, that one, the one after that, those are that's pretty cool too. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Would you call that realistic?
Yeah, that's very realistic. Like in the lighting, again, you can sort of see the sort of transitions from dark to light. Like Billy explains this much better than I do. But on like surfaces, right? The way that light works, the way that you get these sort of like soft transitions from like dark to light. Whereas in the more like cartoony style, it's a lot harder. There's kind of like harder blocks, you know, between dark and light. Yeah, I think that's an interesting study as well. I think my favorite is still this one.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. I would love to see other randomly generated options, so like 5 or 10 of them.
Well, that's what's going to be coming in the next couple of days, is basically Billy's like basically taking a lot of this stuff and translating it more into this style, and then we'll do a similar experiment where we generate a bunch of them and see what they look like. Yeah.
But even these, like, I didn't see all these variations.
Yeah.
I thought that the variations would look too similar with the realistic style, but I feel like this is pretty different.
Yeah. This is still,
and also what you guys may notice is that we're trying to build different ethnicities or
different
like
ethnicities and also like different factions, right? We want to represent everyone that is in like the crypto sort of blockchain space, right? And some of those people will resonate more with like the cyberpunk stuff, others with, you know, different styles. So we're thinking of it like what factions exist in this space that could join the meta crew, and what do they look like, and what components sort of represent them. We want to like represent as many people as we can. Okay, so that's basically where we're at with the Avatar project, and that's it's honestly not that far out. Like I dare not speculate about a date, because then Billy will get my DMs being like.
The thing about it is the thing about it is we have to agree with the style.
Yes.
Before Billy goes ahead and builds and draws out like 1,000 variations. So it's kind of like agreeing on a style and slowly letting him go and seeing 5 different variations of that same style, and then saying yep, go for it, and then him going boom. But as soon as we are ready for the phase 2, 0 to 100 Billy, like he will do his thing.
Yeah. And we're so nearly there. Honestly, we are so nearly there.
But I think we should just appreciate how versatile Billy is.
He's incredible. Like the fact that he's done this, as well as the 3D modeling for the ship that we were showing last time, as well as all of that like environmental concepts art,
and the splash art, and he's epic.
Yeah, but we're not giving you his contact details because we don't want you to poach him.
You're not even going to see his face. He's a hidden.
He's ours. Yeah, he's ours. Damn it, we need him. Oh my goodness. So that's it for us.